And welcome to Eye on Paulsboro, a news show at long last. It's been a busy couple weeks. As Fred's behind the camera, his mother passed away, my father passed away. Just a very busy time. But remember, this show is coming to everyone from the Paulsboro High School Gymnasium. Tonight is the Paulsboro High School Hall of Distinguished Alumni second annual induction. And what a group.
John, I made sure it wasn't a black tie event. It's a red tie event. And second year, we have wonderful, wonderful, wonderful graduates from Paulsboro High School.
Yeah, just when we're going to go through a few names as the program goes on, there are Paulsboro people everywhere, military, doctors, and people just doing wonderful things, raising family. What a beautiful night this is. Fred will have a little bit of highlight for it. We're not going to have the whole program, just a highlight here and there, and some regular updates. So stay with us. We're coming right back from Paulsboro High School Gymnasium.
Multi-policy discount, paperless discount, paid in full discount, homeowners discount, safe driver discount, chipmunk family reunion, someone stole the nuts, squirrel jail, justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice, think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like TrueTest paints, Master Mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and Rug Doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice, think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
And welcome back. We continue. We're here this evening for the Paulsboro High School Hall of Distinguished Alumni. It's the second annual induction. I had to read it because it's a long title. This was an idea that Paul, as principal, came up with a number of years ago. This place has a magnificent history of athletic achievement, but frankly has an equal history of academic achievement, and especially in real-world application of what was learned here. I keep holding this up, you see it flipping around. But Paul, first of all, you had this idea. This is a second annual. It's a beautiful evening.
Yeah, I just felt that there's a lot of people that come through Paulsboro High School that have done been very successful and have done so well throughout life, especially the school being over 100 years old. You got people that just served in our wars and have been heroes, and people who have been very successful in businesses and all over the world. And I just felt that, there's other schools that have these programs that I really wanted to try to get something started. And last year we kicked it off with our 100-year anniversary, and this year is our second year, and we're pretty happy, and we have quite a few applications for the future that are pretty good. So.
Actually, a very diverse class, as you would expect. The place is 100 years old. I mean, you've got Vietnam War veteran who survived being captured, shot down in a B-52. You've got successful doctors.
We're pretty proud of a lot of people. They have doctors, lawyers, and people that have done unbelievable things in the war. Like last year, our first class, having Mr. Weiss in, who passed away. I'm glad we got him in. And also people like, Brigadier General Simmons and, Terry Bird and things like that. They're a great group. Joyce and Gaines. That was a great group of people for our first class. So.
And it just gets better. And it also, one nice thing about this, these very distinguished alumni come back to the school. They see how well it looks, and it gets them back engaged. And that's not a bad thing for you as an educator and for the school itself to have this tie between those who have come through these halls, been successful, and gone on. It's important for that connection.
Yeah, and I think Paulsboro gets a bad rep academically. If you really look at our students and what they've done and where they're going now even, they get a bad rep. And I just think it's nice to bring people back and to see what the school's like. And yesterday we had Mr. Camerado speak to our history classes about him surviving in Vietnam, and it was amazing. The kids were amazed, and it was they're the type of things that these kids have to see and hear and know that it's a good place to be, and they can be successful, and we're going to keep moving forward.
We just visited with Paul Morina, the principal of Paulsboro High School, and we'll continue our program here from the second installation of the Paulsboro High School Distinguished Alumni Group. Paul, you got to get a shorter name for the group. I can't say the name. I got to keep.
When I was 14, I left grammar school in Bridgeport and came to Paulsboro High School. That was a big change. In Paulsboro and Bridgeport, I was in a 4-room schoolhouse. And the 8 years I was there, I only had 4 teachers. I had a first grade teacher, a second grade teacher, and the same teacher for 3rd and 4th, the same teacher for 5th and 6th, and the same teacher, different teacher for 5th and 6th, and the same teacher for 7th and 8th. So I had one teacher for 4 years. The first day I got to Paulsboro High School was quite a change, The first day I was here, I had 5 teachers in one day.
As folks get older, there's a lot of talk about the good old days and the tendency to romanticize the past, and I refuse to let myself fall into that trap. As I thought about how the Paulsboro years fit into the person that I've become. I must admit, however, we have the positive side of the ledger, that it was not always easy growing up black in Paulsboro in the 1950s and 60s. Once in my entire life, I sat on the first floor of the Phil Theater, and that was the night of our junior prom. It was so memorable that I can tell you the movie, Sayonara, starring Marlon Brando and Red Buttons and James Harden. But never did I sit on the first floor of the Phil Theater before that night in May 1961 or after. If you were black, you bought your ticket, you entered the theater, made the first right turn, and went to the balcony. That was it. Copy now. I never became a Girl Scout. Why? Because there wasn't a black troop in town. But if I look over all of my life, the most impactful lesson that I have been able to extrapolate and live by was learned from our guidance counselor, who in fall 1961 told me that my first choice of colleges, Douglas College, wanted someone better than me. My response was probably my first instance of speaking truth to power when I told her that Douglas should make that decision. I had been taught to respect authority, and an experienced guidance counselor was certainly an authority figure. But even at age 17, I knew there was something wrong with her advice, and it could not be followed. So here's my bottom line. Don't let anyone ever steal your dream, try though they may. Speak truth to power, don't prefer to title or position. Stand up for what you believe is right, even if you stand alone. It's not what happens to us in life, but it's how we respond to what happens. It can make you bitter, or it can make you better. And I say, go for better.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
And welcome back. The gymnasium is beginning to fill up. Going to be a beautiful program. With me now is Mayor Gary Stevenson. In fact, he's going to be doing the greeting of the program. But before that starts, we wanted to have him visit us since we haven't done an update show. A lot going on in town, but we're going to talk about water meters because you've gotten the letter, and this is actually a very important program. Mayor, why don't you pick it up from there?
John, we finally got in that phase where we're going to start to install water meters in everybody's house, everybody's business. Something that has to be done, and we're doing it. Got to find contractors out there doing it. We got a nice online. You can go online and schedule it if you haven't done it already. Call the Borough Hall. We're willing to help you. But, it's going to help the town pay for our water system and all. And that's the way it's supposed to be done. Hey, if you're using a lot of water, you're going to pay a few more dollars. Don't want to see that, but that's what happens. If you're using less, you're just a one-person, two-person, you may pay less. So in the end, it'll all balance out, but it's all about we're doing what we're mandated to do by the state.
And also, too, now these new meters, because a handful of years ago there was a water meter project, these are going to be read in an interesting way, aren't they, Gary? Somebody's not going to knock on your door to read them.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about somebody knocking on your door or coming up to your house. These are going to be read by sensors that are going to be up on the water towers, and they're going to shoot right into your house and pick it up. And the one good thing about this, John, is you break a pipe, it'll automatically spike up and somebody will get a call saying, hey, all of a sudden you're using a lot of water. We're going to send somebody to your house. You're going to get a phone call, so you don't have to pay for a ton, especially if you've got a broken pipe. But, they're calibrated. Once a couple of years, somebody will come around just to make sure they're calibrated. You're paying what you're supposed to pay. But it's great that we don't have to pay an extra person to ride around. It just automatically computer read by something on a water tower.
Fascinating, just fascinating. So remember, you've gotten the letter. It has to be done. As the mayor said, if you have questions, call Borough Hall, 423-1500. They'll talk you through it, make arrangements to get it installed. It's going to be good in the end. With me now is Mark Kemp. This segment will be sort of two segments in one. We're first going to start by saying to Mark, to you and your committee to put this Distinguished Alumni event together. It's the second one. It feels as exciting as the first one. And what a distinguished group of people you assembled.
It is definitely. Paul Morina is our chairman, and he did a great job of guiding us, and we had a very impressive list of resumes to go through. The Golden Anniversary dinner is coming up, and with our mailing, we sent out nomination forms for next year, so we should have an even bigger pool of people to review for next year's induction.
I want to switch gears with you because you've been a driving force since the beginning. The lighthouse has been painted. Tell us about it.
Beginning of 2016, we were the lighthouse is owned and maintained by the U.S. Coast Guard. Beginning of 2016, they were going to paint it. They looked at it. They found structural problems and shut the thing down, preventing us from doing tours. It's gone through a long process. They've done design work. They put it out for bid finally in middle of December. I was told they had signed a contract, and the workers are out there painting both inside and outside. We never expected the inside to be painted. They're doing both. They're doing the structural repairs. The Coast Guard tells us it should be ready by July. The contractor says he may be done by the end of May. I was out there this morning, and the progress is amazing.
So when they complete that work, then you'll be back to having occasional tours?
Yes. Once they're done, we'll have a grand reopening, and then we'll go back to our schedule of third Sunday each month, and we will be able to open for the New Jersey Lighthouse Challenge this year.
Got to get money for that.
We haven't done for the last 2 years.
Very good. Visiting with Mark Camp in a dual role tonight, a member of the committee for this evening, but equally as important, one of the driving forces on the lighthouse, which has been open to the public all these years, and people enjoy that. I even did a wedding one time, if you recall, at the top. I did too?
Two, you've done two. One at the top and one at the bottom.
I wonder how those worked out, by the way.
I think also that this award is very, very important and meaningful to me because it also recognizes the PHS faculty, the staff, and the students. And in my case, one special family who were instrumental in who I became and what I did with my life. Louise Evangelista and I were friends from Gibbstown Grammar School. And you probably remember Sammy, who was one of the great wrestling coaches for PHS. The Evangelistas took me in to their home for my junior and senior years when my father's work took the family to northern Jersey. I really owe them a great debt that I will never be able to repay, especially to Edith, Louise and Sammy's mom. If they hadn't been willing to take me in, I would not have graduated from PHS. And that would have changed the rest of this school and my life. For sure, unlike Vegas, what happens at PHS does not stay at PHS, but follows us throughout the rest of our lives.
They were diverse, fun, learning classes, entertaining for everyone, including our teachers. We found time to study, which was the same way. We also found time for lots of laughs and absolutely crazy stuff that our parents did not have appreciate. Thanks to all PHS alumni, the people of Paulsboro, and the students and staff at PHS. You continue the tradition of pride in your town and high school, Paulsboro pride. To all of you, Florida Raiders.
Multi-policy discount. Paperless discount. Paid in full discount. Homeowners discount. Safe driver discount. Chipmunk family reunion. Someone stole the nuts. Squirrel jail. Justice.
Countless discounts. Now that's progressive. Call or click today.
Thinking about a new appliance or an LCD TV? Don't think twice. Think Weiss. Weiss True Value has a full line of LCD TVs plus a great variety of appliances. And of course, hardware items like TrueTest paints, master mechanic tools, electrical supplies, key duplicating, and rug doctor rentals. And for repairs on screens and windows, look no further. Weiss True Value, from making keys to selling appliances and LCD TVs. Don't think twice. Think Weiss. 39 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
For everything, there's a season, and a time for everything under heaven. A time for sharing, a time for caring, a time for remembering, and a time for parting. When that time arrives, let Beth McBride Foley and Thomas D. Foley at the McBride Foley Funeral Home help you in your time of need. Offering a wide variety of funeral services from cremation to traditional, McBride Foley Funeral Home has been helping families with the loss of a loved one with over 50 years of combined service. McBride Foley Funeral Home, 228 West Broad Street, Paulsboro.
As the last military guy captured in Vietnam, I just want to echo what one of my fellow POWs said when he stepped off the airplane and stepped onto American soil for the first time in several years. His words were, "We are proud to have served our country under difficult conditions."
With me now is Peter Camerado.
Pete Camerado is good.
Class of 62. His story is just a real important story. All these stories are, this one particularly. So Pete graduates in 62, you go to Drexel, pick it up from there, Pete.
Well, I was graduated from Drexel in 67, in June of 67. Got married a week later and joined the Air Force a week after that and went to officer training school and got out of there and went to NAV school in Sacramento, EW school, electronic warfare officer school in Sacramento. Got assigned to B-52s. Went to B-52 training in Castle, about 100 miles south. Got assigned to a squadron in California, in Riverside, California, March Air Force Base. And was a crew dog for a while until December 72 when Bullet Shot 2 came around, was the operation it was called. President Nixon had finally decided that we should do something about the peace talks that were not being peaceful. They weren't working and everybody was bailing out of the peace talks. So we started a concerted effort of strategic bombing for the first time using B-52s in Hanoi and Haiphong. And I'm not blowing my own horn here, but if you talk to any of the prisoners who came back, the guys who were there for 5 and 6 and 7 years, they will tell you that the B-52s are what ended the war. And it was because when you send in an F-4 with 6 or 8 or 10 bombs, yeah, gets a lot of people's attention, causes a lot of damage. When you send in 3 B-52s with 108 bombs apiece, it goes on and on and on, and it works. It was a very effective weapon. Okay, took 11 days, and we finally brought the North Vietnamese to the peace talks, and the peace treaty was signed the end of January '73.
And a piece that Pete hasn't touched on, what I'm going to ask him to, is the fact that in one of those missions, his craft did not make it, and you and your other crew of 6, you bailed out, and you ended up 12 days evading capture and being captured.
Yeah, on the 22nd, which was the 4th night of bombing, was my 103rd mission, as a matter of fact. We got hit just before we released our bombs. Released our bombs on target. Long story short, it took about 5 minutes for the airplane to deteriorate enough that it was time to leave the airplane. The aircraft commander, another Pete Giroux, turned on the bailout light because we had lost our interphone by that time. And we all bailed out. Everybody bailed out of the airplane successfully, but 3 guys got caught by the Vietnamese and did not show up in the prison system. Myself, my aircraft commander, Pete, and the gunner showed up in the prison system and were released at the end of the war when we got our prisoners back.
Well, first of all, just a thank you to you for your service. They were not easy times. And as history looks back, there's a greater appreciation for that effort that was made by all those who served. And it's finally the American conscience is caught up to realize that the people in uniform did one fine job. Now, Pete, just curiosity, what takes down a B-52? That's a pretty important.
It was a surface-to-air missile, and in that time frame, the 11 days, we had, and I got the numbers mixed up, either 715 sorties or 729 sorties, and the other number was the amount of civilian casualties that we caused. I'm sorry about that, really sorry about that. I had been a B-52 planner. I know we went through a great deal of trouble to try and minimize collateral damage, civilian damage. So, and that's a lot of people, 715 or 729. I'm sorry about that, but we lost 15 airplanes in those 715, 729 sorties, and approximately 36 of those guys were prisoners. Some guys bailed out over Thailand and were picked up, and the rest were just, they died in the air or died on the ground. So it's
Pete, war is hard. War is hard. War is hard.
Absolutely. And I talked to some kids here yesterday in the class, and I said, nobody wants to go to war. Even fighter pilots, they love training for war. Okay, the training is wonderful and the yanking and banking, but nobody really wants to go to war because somebody's going to die, and that's not who we are. We as Americans don't kill people without need. Needless to say,
we thank you again for your service at a very difficult time in this country's history. Very hard time. Paulsboro people are everywhere, from the halls of the school over the skies of Vietnam, surviving being captured, and coming back here to talk about it.
I want to say that out of all of the accomplishments and recognition that Bill received, this would probably be the crown jewel for him. Because to come back to your home high school, the town where you grew up, and to teach and be so recognized and so loved would just put a smile on his face. Because Bill loved Paulsboro, and he loved his high school.
Life is a journey that we travel with a lot of uncertainty. When your family is faced with change and you're in need of understanding, direction, honesty, and professionalism, we at the Landolfi Funeral Home have a tradition of assisting you with all of your needs in any way that we can. We offer many affordable funeral services. Please feel free to call us with any questions you may have or visit us at www.landolfifuneralhome.com.
Rizzo Family Chiropractic Center in Gibbstown offers pain relief with a difference. Using specific chiropractic adjustments, Rizzo Family Chiropractic will get to the root of your problem quickly. Bring your headaches, neck, back, joint, or limb pain to Dr. Karen Rizzo. If you have recurring pain, chiropractic can help. Rizzo Family Chiropractic can relieve many sources of pain without extended treatment and ongoing therapy. Give your family the gift of caring professional pain relief with a difference. Rizzo Family Chiropractic.
Come on down Route 55 to the Millville Airport. Visit Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms, a gun shop with a woman's touch. Buying, selling, and trading firearms and military items, especially seeking World War II, German, Japanese, and American items. Buying single items or entire collections. That's Smith & Jackson Military Antiques and Firearms at the Millville Airport, 21 Peterson Street, next to the Glasstown Brewing Company.
United States Naval Academy, Annapolis, Maryland, 17 September 1970. Dear John, I was pleased to receive your preliminary screening questionnaire. After examining your questionnaire, it is in my opinion that you will meet with a great deal of difficulty in satisfying the academic requirements of the Naval Academy. Under the circumstances, I recommend that you discontinue your efforts to gain admission to the Naval Academy. Undoubtedly, there are other schools that would present an excellent opportunity for you to compete in their course of study. Good luck to you in your future endeavors. The words of Mr. Koshi filled my head. Are you sure you want to do that? In case you're wondering, there's a very important moral to this letter. If you want to ensure something gets accomplished, tell somebody from Paulsboro they can't do it. Thank you, Paulsboro, for giving me the tools and helping me find a way.
And welcome back. It's time for Community Notes with Irma Stevenson. Irma's also, of course, on the Board of Education, involved with this Distinguished Alumni event this evening. Irma, just a successful evening.
Oh, it's wonderful. You know, Paulsboro people, graduates are all over the country and the world. They do such great things, and they're going to keep doing such great things.
And more are coming.
Oh, definitely. Happy birthday to John Hoffman, Maria Elena Morina, Patty Farrow, Tim Suter, Anthony Giordano, Jerry Polick, Rhonda Jones, Frank Hardy, Carl Archek Jr., Barbara Bitter, Jean Burke Drake, Tony Bennett. That light's bright. Marie Gezzi, Dee Dee Roan, Kim Bernacki, Jackie Pavone, Giovanni Esposito, Taylor Mogar, your Aunt Pauline Salvatore, John, 93. Rick Eli and Ezio Ferrelli, 93 today.
And back home.
Back home. Happy anniversaries to Bonnie and John Haddock and Lisa and Brian Campasso. And John, for our parents that have children that are going to start kindergarten, please go down or call Billingsport School at 423-2226 and extension 5201 for Joanne Hone this week. And she will tell you what to bring, and your kids will be in school in September. June 24th, the Paulsboro High School Golden Anniversary Reunion, John. Oletto's 2 on. Call me, 423-3787 for your class representative. We go from the classes of 1925 to this year, 1968.
So let me extend to everyone watching that was very kind to our family at the time of my father's passing. His passing was actually very peaceful, and the turnout at the church, despite the weather, was really heartwarming. And we sent him away in fashion on the back of his Blue Fire truck in a blizzard. And a thank you to the fire department, police department, and all those who helped us make that work as well as it did. And that blue fire truck against the white snow looked spectacular, and I suspect he was smiling. Irma, thank you. You stayed in for the mass, and it really was kind of you to be there.
Well, John, you know, your mother and dad are great friends of Walt and I growing up. Walter was their neighbor. Your mom belonged to the Young Mothers Social Car Club. And with the passing, it's like, now we're becoming the matriarchs and patriarchs, and it gets scary, John.
Irma, you have a special place. That's going to do it for here. For Fred Buchner behind the camera, whose mother also just recently passed away. Amy Cook, who couldn't be here. For Bill Crane, our producer, who couldn't be here. We're sort of thin in the ranks today. Irma?
Well, John, this is a Red Raider day. There's nothing greater being a Raider, and see you on Broad Street.
Till next time.
Steadfast, loyal sons and daughters, ready at thy call. Mind and heart we pledge that never shall our banner fall. And as Betty Boone would say, go be brave.